Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to your Monday Night Raw post show. And man, there is a lot to talk about in today's episode. We got a couple of returns. We get to see Roxanne Perez. We also get to see the ring general himself, Gunther. A lot of people, pretty much thinking about what the hell was going on with Gunther. We haven't seen Gunther in a few weeks. The last time we actually saw Gunther is when he had a matchup against Dragon Lee. So everybody was kind of speculating, what is going on with Gunther? Is Gunther actually going to have a WrestleMania match? Is he going to have a WrestleMania opponent? We get into all of that in today's episode, and some other news and stuff that happened as well in last night's Monday Night Raw episode, man. But let's start off tonight. We hear from WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out to the ring. He asks the fans, what do you want to talk about? But Cody Rhodes is quickly interrupted by none other than Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone. Cody says he's surprised to see Steph. But Stephanie then tells Cody, you shouldn't be surprised because her grandfather ran shows in this building, being that they were in Madison Square Garden last night, the home of WWE. Cody then asks Stephanie, what do you want to talk about? Stephanie then says that she wants to talk about Rhodes and Orton as well as WrestleMania. Stephanie says that this version of Orton is diabolical. She also talks about Dusty Rhodes. Stephanie then says that Cody is not Dusty, and that Dusty was pretty much built different, that he's been through the trenches. Stephanie says that this version of Orton, Cody cannot beat. Cody then says he knows everything about Orton. Matches that he's had with Orton in the past. He also mentions Orton and Dusty Rhodes as well. Cody says that he is not the student. Cody says that he is not his father, but with all due respect to Stephanie, neither is she. The crowd erupts after this. Stephanie then was sending Cody a warning. Stephanie then says unless Cody thinks like Orton, he doesn't have a chance in hell in beating Orton for the WWE title. Stephanie then goes to walk away, but Cody stops Stephanie. Cody then tells Stephanie he's got 2 words for her. Thank you. Cody then walks away looking distraught while Stephanie stands in the ring looking on to Cody Rhodes. Now, a couple things about this, man. Number one, I was shocked as all hell, to be honest with you, to see the likes of Stephanie McMahon. I know that her family has run matches and have run events in Madison Square Garden. I mean, it is the home of WWE in the most known arena around the world, being Madison Square Garden. So I was shocked to see Stephanie, though, to be honest. I know, obviously, she's not really in the realm of WWE as far as being on air. I know she has her own podcast, just like Cody Rhodes does, a part of the WWE umbrella. But and I also know that she's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. But I was actually surprised to see Steph at the show last night. But I was also surprised not only to see Steph at the show last night, but I was also surprised to see Stephanie kind of confront Cody Rhodes and kind of not really give Cody Rhodes a pep talk, but it was more or less on the line of trying to give Cody Rhodes a warning about Randy Orton. And the fact that this version of Orton is diabolical. That this version of Orton is something that Cody Rhodes has never seen before. And she's trying to pretty much warn Cody that what you're walking into at WrestleMania is a completely different animal. This is a different type of Viper. This is a different type of Randy Orton. And that she wants to get Cody Rhodes focused on the game plan as far as trying to beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania. So I thought this was great. I thought this was really put together very well. And honestly, I thought it was a lot better than the bullshit brawl that we had on SmackDown between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. So looking forward to this match at WrestleMania. And moving on from that, we go into our first official match of the night. It is a street fight for the World Tag Team titles. We have the Usos taking on the Visions, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul. Now, before this match even gets started, it seems as if the Usos has got a new theme, which I'm not against it, to be honest with you. But the match itself, it was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams, with the Usos keeping the pace of the match. Logan Paul hits Jimmy with a kendo stick, followed by a trash can. Jimmy then gets up, hits Austin Theory with a trash can as well. The Usos then hit Theory with kendo sticks. Usos follow this up by hitting a superplex on Theory through a table in the middle of the ring. Logan Paul's mom, who was ringside with I Show Speed, gives Logan Paul the brass knuckles, but LA Knight, who was on commentary during this match, finds Logan Paul. He ends up attacking Logan Paul, I Show Speed, though, picks up the brass knuckles and accidentally hits LA Knight. Jey Uso's in the middle of the ring, though. He hits a spear on Austin Theory. Logan then hits Jimmy Uso with the brass knuckles. Theory then falls, goes for the cover, pins for the 3. And your winners of the match and new World Tag Team Champions are The Vision, thanks to I Show Speed. Moving on from that, we have Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone, says that she is the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time. Liv then sends a chilling warning to Stephanie Vaquer by saying that you're done, bitch, is what she said. Liv then talks about Stephanie attacking her family, Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day. Liv then mocks Stephanie, but Stephanie Vaquer comes out to the ring. Liv and Stephanie both brawl in the middle of the ring, but out of nowhere, Roxanne Perez shows up, attacks Stephanie Vaquer. Looks like Roxanne is back in the WWE, but Liv Morgan hits an Oblivion on Stephanie onto a chair. A couple of things I want to talk about this, man, too. Number one, I can tell y'all right now off rip that this matchup here between Liv and Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World title surpasses whatever the hell Jade and Rhea are doing right now. I'm going to be honest. There's more story going into this match than what we're seeing with Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. I told you guys when I did my SmackDown review that I genuinely believe that this matchup between Rhea and Jade, this might actually go down as one of Rhea's worst matches of all time. And it's not even Rhea's fault. I think Rhea is going to have to carry this match. I think Rhea is going to have to carry Jade Cargill. I think Jade Cargill is going to get exposed. And to be honest with you, just the storyline itself, if you want to call it that, going into this match at WrestleMania between Jade and Rhea is very lackluster compared to Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. So I was happy to see Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer last night, and they definitely tore the house down last night, pretty much getting us hyped up for their matchup at WrestleMania. And moving on from that, we have a women's tag team title matchup. It is Lyra Valkyria teaming up with Bayley to take on Nia Jax and Lash Legend. The match itself, it was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams with Nia and Lash keeping the pace of the match. Lyra hits an enziguri, but Lash hits a big boot in the middle of the ring. Nia Jackson hits a leg drop for a near fall, but Bayley hits a power bomb on Nia in the middle of the ring. Lyra then hits a moonsault for a near fall, followed by a spin kick. The Bellows are here. The Bellows are making their way down to the ring, but they're also approached by Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Nia then throws Lyra into Alexa and Charlotte. Nia and Lash then both attack the Bellas. Flair then gets in the ring and attacks Nia Jax. The match ends in a disqualification, and an all-out fight breaks out with all of the women's tag teams. Interesting stuff there from the women's tag team division. Moving on from that, we have Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar comes out to the ring, but he's dressed to fight. He comes down to the ring with Paul Heyman. Heyman hypes up Brock Lesnar, but Heyman says that Lesnar was distracted and caught off guard by Oba Femi. Heyman says that last week Brock wanted to talk, not fight. Heyman says that tonight Lesnar is ready for a fight. After this, Lesnar then was pacing around the ring. He gets pissed off, grabs the microphone, and says, "Enough." Lesnar then calls out Oba Femi. But Lesnar and Heyman are interrupted by none other than Raw General Manager Adam Pearce, and Pearce grabs the microphone and says, "Not tonight." Pearce then tells Lesnar it's not going to happen. Then out of nowhere, the lights go out, Oba Femi's music hits. The security are trying to stop Oba Femi, but Oba attacks the WWE security. Pearce then tries to stop Oba Femi as well, but Oba pushes Pearce out of the way. Both Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar are face-to-face in the middle of the ring, but Triple H comes out of nowhere, gets in the middle between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. He's trying to break up whatever the hell was going to happen. Lesnar then leaves the rings, but Lesnar tells Oba he will end him. Lesnar then goes to leave the ring, but hits a devastating F5 on a WWE security member. Man, I'm telling you what, this matchup between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar, man, it is heating up with gas right now. Definitely excited to see this matchup at WrestleMania. And moving on from that, we have an Intercontinental Championship matchup where it is Penta defending the Intercontinental title against Kofi Kingston. Now, I thought this was actually a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Kingston and Penta, with Penta keeping the pace of the match. Kofi and Penta both exchange in the middle of the ring, with Kofi hitting an SOS on Penta for a near fall. Kofi then follows it up by hitting a leg drop on Penta for a near fall as well. Kofi is arguing with Grayson Waller to stay back and stop helping. Stay out of the way. Penta then hits a Mexican Destroyer on Waller on the outside, but Kofi then hits a Trouble in Paradise on Penta for a near fall. But Penta gets up, hits his signature Mexican Destroyer on Kofi Kingston, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match and still Intercontinental Champion is Penta. After the match, you can see Penta in the ring. He was being interviewed, and he was asked, what's next for Penta? What are your plans for WrestleMania? And Penta says at WrestleMania, he will be defending the Intercontinental title in a ladder match. Definitely interesting to see that matchup unfold at this year's WrestleMania. And moving on from that, we hear from Paul Heyman once again. Paul Heyman comes out to the ring. He hypes up the Vision with them winning the World Tag Team titles. Heyman says that he tried to do something to give back to the fans with having Brock Lesnar fight Obafemi tonight. Heyman then mocks Adam Pearce, but Pearce ends up showing up. Pearce tells Heyman to shut up. He also asks Heyman if he has checked his emails. Now, this was something that Pearce was pretty much trying to tell Paul Heyman throughout the entire night, to check your emails. But Heyman was not for it. He was like, you know what, I'm not going to check my emails and all this other bullshit. It's not that important. And like Heyman says himself, there's nothing Pearce can say that Heyman doesn't know. But Pearce says that, you know what, Rollins is a free man. But Heyman says that he fears no man. But Heyman says that he's the last promoter of the 1990s. The fans start chanting ECW. But Pearce says that as of now, Rollins is medically cleared to compete. After this, Rollins' music hits. But Rollins, Paul Heyman's looking at the stage. And Rollins is nowhere to be found. Instead, Rollins is right behind Paul Heyman with a chair. Rollins ends up attacking Paul Heyman with a chair shot. Rollins goes for a foot stomp on Heyman onto the chair, but all of a sudden, Rollins is attacked from out of nowhere, and it's none other than the returning of the ring general, Gunther. Gunther attacks Rollins. He ends up putting Rollins in a sleeper hold on the outside. He ends up pointing at the WrestleMania sign, and it looks like we are going to get Gunther versus Seth Rollins at this year's WrestleMania. We'll talk more about this at the end of today's show. And moving on from that, we have Io Sky taking on Raquel Rodriguez. I thought it was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Io and Raquel, with Raquel keeping the pace of the match. Io hits a moonsault to the outside, followed by a Hurricane Rana. The Kabuki Warriors are here. Raquel then hits Kairi. Io then botches a dive that attacks Asuka. I mean, it was absolutely brutal dive that Io hit. This allowed Raquel Rodriguez to hit a Tahana Bomb on Io in the middle of the ring. Pins for the 3. And your winner of the match is Raquel Rodriguez. Hats off to Raquel Rodriguez for getting the win in this matchup. And moving on from that, we got a little side news. It was announced all over the internet that we're getting a return. We're getting a host for this year's WrestleMania. And that host is none other than the man himself, the greatest of all time, John Cena. John Cena will be hosting this year's WrestleMania in Las Vegas. Some interesting stuff there from John Cena. And moving on from that, closing out tonight for Monday Night Raw, we hear from Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief. Roman comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone, asks the fans to acknowledge him. But after that, Roman's quickly interrupted by CM Punk. Punk pretty much beelines it to the ring. He looks pissed off. Punk enters the ring. Punk and Reigns both exchange in the middle of the ring, with Roman hitting a Superman punch on CM Punk. WWE security is here as well to try to break up the fight, but Roman attacks the security and pushes Adam Pearce. Punk then hits a GTS on Roman, followed by Punk hitting a powerbomb on Reigns through the announce table. A little payback from the World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk. A couple things I want to talk about with you guys, man, before I get the hell up out of here as far as Monday Night Raw is concerned, man. I thought this honestly was a really good show. To be honest with you, man, there was not really anything on this show that really had me kind of scratching my head, like, what the hell did we just watch? Or I was really pissed off watching it. But there was one, incident that happened on Monday Night Raw last night that, honestly had me really, really confused. And I want to explain why. And that reason why I was confused was none other than the return of Gunther. Now, I told you guys before the episode even got started that it's great to see Gunther back. We had not seen Gunther back on Monday Night Raw since he had, pretty much beat the hell out of Dragon Lee. And it had a lot of people talking, man. It had a lot of people speculating that maybe Gunther's opponent at this year's WrestleMania was going to be none other than Rey Mysterio. Now, with Rey, there are rumors that Rey is on his way out. And Rey is looking to retire. A lot of people have been talking about this There's even rumors and speculation that Ray might want to retire at the Clash in Italy, and that he's on his way out, and Gunther might be his opponent for Clash of Italy due to the fact that he is the career killer. So I don't know what's going on with Ray. I don't know if Rey Mysterio was injured. Maybe that's the reason why they did not book this matchup for this year's WrestleMania. But instead, we see Gunther attacking none other than Seth Rollins. Now, this is raising a lot of questions with a lot of people. Number one, it's great to see Gunther back. But a lot of people are confused, and myself included, on why the hell Gunther came back. And not only came back, but attacked Seth Rollins. Gunther has nothing to do with Seth Rollins, nor does Gunther have anything to do with Paul Heyman and the Vision. You know, I feel as if this matchup here between Gunther and Rollins, which now is official, was basically the fact that both these guys' opponents, original slated opponents for WrestleMania, are both out with injury. I believe Ray's out with injury, and I believe Braun Breaker is also dealing with a hernia issue. Now, when we're looking at the other side of the fence with Seth Rollins, I mean, a lot of people were expecting that Seth Rollins was actually going to face off against Braun Breaker. And the reason why that is because there was news that came out a couple of weeks back that Braun Breaker was actually down in Orlando at the Performance Center and was trying to get healthy enough to get medically cleared to compete at this year's WrestleMania, and actually had the matchup against Seth Rollins, the match that everybody is still anticipating after what Breaker did to Seth Rollins, basically beating his ass and kicking him out of the division. But unfortunately, Breaker got hurt. He required hernia surgery, which kind of put him on the shelf for the foreseeable future. So seeing Gunther last night could pretty much close the door on the fact that Braun Breaker is not going to be at this year's WrestleMania as far as competing. Now, again, this matchup with Gunther and Seth Rollins can go multiple ways. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. If this match goes to a finish, Gunther has to win. Gunther cannot lose this match against Seth Rollins. He just can't. And it might be a hot take for a lot of people concerning the fact that Rollins has been dealing with divisions bullshit. He's been dealing with Paul Heyman shit and everything else like that. This match, if it goes all the way through and there's a finish, Gunther has to win. Now, with that being said, there could also be a shit finish. And that we do see the return of Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker somehow gets involved in this matchup, costs Rollins the match. And then we see Braun Breaker return in a clear bill of health on the first Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. We all know the Raw after Mania is one of the biggest events from Monday Night Raw every single year. So this could be something where if this match does happen, and it seems as if it's going to happen, Braun Breaker somehow might get involved as far as costing Seth Rollins the match against Gunther and allowing Gunther to get the win in the matchup at WrestleMania. So we'll see how that plays out. But that was one of the biggest confusing parts for me last night on Monday Night Raw. I was also had some moments where I was shocked. I mean, one of the biggest shockers for me was seeing none other than Stephanie McMahon. I was very shocked to see Stephanie. I was very shocked to see Stephanie in a segment with Cody Rhodes and kind of giving Cody Rhodes a warning about Randy Orton, about how much he's diabolical and how much he's changed, and he's hearing all these voices, and that he's talking to somebody outside the voices that he's paying, close attention to, and he's he's listening a lot to, and it's got a lot of people talking. Who the hell is this person that Orton's talking to? Who's feeding Orton this bullshit? Yada yada yada. I'm going to be honest. I told you guys this on my SmackDown review, man. If we're looking at both matches, meaning Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Orton and Rhodes, I'm going to be honest. I'm leaning more towards being more excited for Punk and Reigns. The storyline, the build-up for this match for the past few weeks, man, it's been getting better and better and better over time. Where you look at the other side of the fence with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, we had, the moment where Randy Orton beat the piss out of Cody Rhodes and left him in a puddle of his own piss on the announce table. And then we get that bullshit brawl that everybody was pretty much mocking and making fun of. And then we get Monday Night Raw. Cody Rhodes shows up, first part of the night. But then we also see the likes of Stephanie McMahon. I think that also kind of, changed the direction of where we're going here between Rhodes and Orton. Because Stephanie is giving him a warning about how much Orton is diabolical at this point. And you had to get in that mindset. She brought up Dusty Rhodes and the fact that Dusty has been in the trenches. He's been in those wars with Flair and so on and so forth, man. He's had those matches with, members of the Four Horsemen. Tully Blanchard. He's been in the trenches throughout his career. Rest in peace to the late, great Dusty Rhodes. But This was something that Stephanie wanted to bring up to Cody Rhodes, that you haven't been in the trenches yet. You haven't been, you haven't had that moment yet. Now, to me, I mean, obviously he was dealing with the bloodline shit for God knows what, 2 fucking years. But now it's to a point where Stephanie's giving him a warning about how Randy Orton's is a completely different animal. Somebody that, Cody Rhodes has never faced off against before. So we're going to see how this plays out, man. I mean, look, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to tell you guys right now, man, I am not against at all whatsoever if Orton walks out WrestleMania and WWE champion. I'm not against it at all. I'm not. And as far as people complaining about him being a heel or a babyface, Orton, in my honest opinion, it's just my opinion, Orton to me is always built to be a heel. That egotistical prick. And that's just Randy Orton, man. Orton is a better heel than he is a babyface. It's more organic. It doesn't feel like it's being, some kind of forced narrative. It just feels like it's organic. And it just comes off just brutal. You know what I mean? And it's great to see that we're getting this matchup here between Orton and Rhodes. Obviously, these two guys have a long history with each other that spans for a very long time. So to see these guys, lock horns in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship is going to be very, very interesting. We also hear from Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Now, again, there was no attack. There was no Obafemi beating the shit out of Brock Lesnar or Brock beating the shit out of Obafemi. And it's got people talking, man, to be honest with you, because a lot of people are thinking that, Brock is going to go over and beat Obafemi at WrestleMania, considering the fact that now for the past 2 weeks, Obafemi's pretty much embarrassed the beast, Brock Lesnar. And I told you guys before, there was that rumors that and stuff going around about Brock Lesnar stating the fact that he doesn't want to lose until he retires. We could go to WrestleMania and Brock could beat Obafemi. Now, in my opinion, and I told you guys this before, I'm going to tell you guys this now. If I was booking this match, Obafemi would be going over. I can't stress that enough. Obafemi is a guy that's going to carry WWE for the next 10, 15 years, bro. The music, the entrance, the fact that they're chanting this guy's name like it's Goldberg back in 96, 97. I mean, this guy is over. You know what I mean? This guy he's going to have the biggest match of his career, and he hasn't even been on the main roster yet for a year. He's only been on the main roster for a couple months, man. A few months. And he's having the biggest match of his career. That goes to show you how much investment that WWE has in a guy like Obafemi. I mean, he is a Goliath, man. This guy is a giant. This guy is a brick shithouse, folks. You see these two Goliaths stand in the ring. I mean, they're both staring at each other toe to toe, man. You got one that's 6'6", 6'5". You got Brock Lesnar 6'3", 6'4 and a half, 265 pounds. You got Obafemi walking around 320. I mean, these guys are built like brick shit houses, man. And these guys are going to tear the goddamn house down in Vegas at WrestleMania. But in my opinion, and I'm throwing this out there now, and when I do my preview predictions, it's going to be the same thing. I would put Obafemi over. It's time for Brock to give back a little bit to the business. It's time. If Brock's on his way out and he's got a short time left in WWE, there's nothing else left for you to prove, Jack. It's time for you to get back to the business and put this guy over. It's time for the ruler. No longer time for the beast. And I think it's time for Obafemi, man. I really do. I think, going into this year's WrestleMania, I can tell you right now off rip, man, the 3 matches that I'm most excited for is obviously Punk and Reigns, Orton and Rhodes, Obafemi, Lesnar. You know what I mean? And then we have other matches that follow. There's actually other matches that were announced for WrestleMania last night. We get a Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team match for the Women's Tag Team titles, which I figured that was going to happen because the Women's Tag Team division right now is a complete and utter damn joke. And it's all over the goddamn place. We also get the announcement of Finn Balor taking on Dominic Mysterio, which, again, anticipated matchup, figured that match was going to happen, should happen at WrestleMania, and now that's officially booked for WrestleMania. Friday Night SmackDown, we had the announcement of Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. Again, should be a really good matchup. So, we had Penta announce a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. I think Javon Evans is in this match. Rusev, Phoenix. JD McDonough is also in that matchup, as well as Penta for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. So, again, it should be a hell of a match, man. And Javon Evans in a ladder match. Whew. I mean, that kid's incredible, man. He's, 22, 23 years old, man. He's still got a lot of time left. And that OG cutter, bro, is absolutely just poetry in motion, bro. That shit is amazing to watch. So it's going to be incredible to see that guy in a ladder match. But again, man, Monday Night Raw did not disappoint last night. I mean, besides the Gunther situation, I mean, I felt like maybe they backed themselves in the corner. You know, I think it was something on the lines of the fact that both these guys' original scheduled opponents were both injured and out of action. I think the powers that be, whether it be Nick Khan and Triple H, probably sat down and said, hey, man, we got two of our biggest stars right now in the game, and we cannot have these guys still on the shelf during WrestleMania. So what can we do? What's our plans? And somebody's had a wild grass up their ass idea and said, you know what? Hey, man, let's book these two guys in a match together. That way they're on the WrestleMania card, even though it makes no fucking sense why these guys are even having a match. And it don't. Gunther has nothing to do with Rollins. He's got nothing to do with Paul Heyman in the division. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I felt as if they backed themselves in a corner. And that's the other reason why a lot of talents right now in the main roster, man, there's no way in hell you're going to have a WrestleMania being the biggest show of the year and not have certain talents' names on that show, even though the match doesn't make sense. And that's why this match was booked between Rollins and Gunther. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. But you can't sit here and tell me right now that you're not going to have two of your biggest stars in the company still on the shelf during WrestleMania. Especially when they're both medically cleared. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. So they found a quick solution, a half-assed solution, said, you know what? Let's book these guys in a match against each other. Why the hell not? Gunther ain't got shit going on right now. Rollins ain't got nothing going on. Breaker's still on the shelf dealing with the hernia surgery and shit like that. We're just going to book these two in a match. You know what I mean? That, to me, right there is a pure definition of WWE backpedaling because they had no other option but to book these two guys in a match. So, we're going to get Gunther and Seth Rollins at this year's WrestleMania. And I'm going to be honest, too, man. I think, you know, my whole premonition of WrestleMania going into it for the past couple weeks, past few months, you know, I've really been optimistic. And I've been telling you guys, man, that this might go down as one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. But the way things are slowly picking up and WWE finally hitting the gas pedal on Monday Night Raw, I'm actually excited, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm more excited to see Obafemi versus Lesnar. I think that's going to be one hell of a match, and Punk and Reigns. But we're going to see how it plays out, man. But I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely thrilled that they're finally, you know, taking their foot off the brake and starting to, you know, push the goddamn gas pedal a little bit. Get some excitement, get some intrigue going into this year's WrestleMania. And they're doing exactly that and what we saw last night on Monday Night Raw, man. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. I'm excited for some of these matches that are taking place at WrestleMania. And I might go on a limb and even say that this year's WrestleMania might be better than last year's WrestleMania, even though it's back-to-back Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium where the Las Vegas Raiders play. It's on the same stadium. But I got a feeling that maybe, just maybe, this WrestleMania might be a little bit better than last year's WrestleMania. But, oh, and I also want to say this too, even though it's not really 100% Monday Night Raw related, but I want to give you guys a heads up because I'm always honest with you guys. So, my schedule this week is going to be a little off, and I want to explain. So, you guys are going to get this Raw upload today. Like I usually do every Tuesday, you guys roughly get it around, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, usual standard time for me to upload the Raw review or the Raw post show. But my schedule this week is going to be a little off. I'm going to go on vacation at the end of the week. So basically what the schedule is going to be, you guys are going to get the Raw upload today. Obviously, Dynamite is on Wednesday. I'm actually leaving to go on vacation on Thursday. And I'm going to be gone until Sunday afternoon. So once we get back, Monday, it's right back in the square of things. It's a small little mini vacation. And then we'll be back in the square of things on Monday. So, and obviously we got Mania coming up. We have Dynasty coming up. So we're back to the regular timing, schedule next week. But I am taking a little vacation, little mini vacation. Starting on Thursday. Won't be coming back until Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. So basically, you guys will get Raw uploaded today. Long story short, Dynamite you will not be getting probably until Monday afternoon. So this will probably be the last upload for me this week. Like I said, man, I do apologize, but we had a little vacation planned, and I'm excited to go and take a little break. You know what I mean? I think everybody needs a little R&R once in a while. So, like I said, man, I have Raw being uploaded today for you guys. You guys should be getting that in your notifications. If you guys have your notifications turned on YouTube. And by the way, if you guys are new here and you guys like the podcast, like the episodes and the content that I'm putting out, I also have a YouTube channel as well, putting out this content over on the YouTube side of things as well. I'm also contemplating adding more stuff over on the YouTube side of things rather than the audio side. get some more content over on the YouTube side of things. So if you guys don't know, like I said, I have a YouTube channel as well. It's called Stay Classic with Mr. Classic, all one word. Again, putting out the podcast over there as well, trying to add some new content over there. So if you guys are new here, please, man, go over there and check out the YouTube channel, man. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, hit the like button. I would appreciate it immensely. And like I said, man, this will be the one and only episode for this week for Monday Night Raw. Like I said, I'm going on a little vacation on Thursday for a couple days, and then we are back on Monday. We are back in the full swing of things, man. We got Raw, we got Dynamite, we got SmackDown. Dynasty's coming up as well, and then obviously we got WrestleMania coming up as well, both on Saturday and Sunday coming up in a couple weeks. So we are right back in the swing of things next week, just taking a little R&R, taking a little break for a little bit. But we will be back on Monday, hopefully with your AEW Dynamite review as well. So just wanted to get that little public service announcement out before I get out of here, man, so that way you guys know, like, hey, man, what the hell's going on? Well, if you guys listen to the show, you know why I wasn't around this week. So, but again, man, I just want to let you guys know what was going on, man. And again, Monday Night Raw last night did not disappoint. I'm liking the momentum that we're getting right now going into WrestleMania. I'm definitely excited. You guys should be excited as well. And I'm telling you, man, it's going to be one hell of a show. And I can tell you right now, the one match that's got a little star next to it that I'm most highly anticipating is the Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar match, man. The Ruler versus the Beast. Definitely excited for that matchup, to have two of those Goliaths lock horns in the middle of the ring in Las Vegas at this year's WrestleMania. But again, man, with that being said, though, this is my review of Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.